everyone, what is up? Yo, I am so glad to see you here for today's video. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Tia Joy. Welcome. And to everyone, fam, what is up? I am so glad that you are here to see you. Hey, oh, yo. Okay, so I don't know about you, but I think this just has been a tap month. Period, because we are about to get into today's review and I'm going to talk about Tap. Now, before I can get into this day's review, I need you to do a couple things. First of all, if you have not subscribed, I would love for you to join the fam. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button down below and then hit the bell so that way you can be in the know when I upload a new video. Really? An airplane? I know people are flying, but what are you doing? So Tap was directed by Nick Castle, and this came out in 1989. So that was almost like, 1 year before I was born. But anyway, so Tap, if you have not seen it, it actually really is a good movie. Once again, I know I mentioned this in my last video that there is not a lot of like Tap movies out there. There's maybe a few, and if they are, they're kind of like, I know, what was it? La La Land, there was a Tap number in it, but it wasn't a specific Tap movie. But correct me if I'm wrong. If y'all saying like, oh, there is a Tap movie out there, T. What are you doing? Yo, I will look it up. Okay. But there's this guy named Max, and he pretty much got into some trouble, and so he just got out of jail. And then, but the thing that kept him insane, not insane but sane, was tap dancing. He went back to his old studio. Sunny, it's his actual dad's studio, and so he ends up reuniting with some people. So, we got a lot of great people in here. So we have Max, who's played by Gregory Hines. We have Suzanne Douglas, Sammy Davis, play as Little Mo. And we got some Savion Glover. Like, we got a lot of some Tap legends up in here. We got Bunny Briggs, Arthur Duncan. We have Harold Nicholas. We don't have the other one, but we got a Nicholas brother, so yay. And we got Howard Sims, aka Sandman. And this dude was so funny. Like he's busy still in my move. He is like hilarious. We have Jimmy Slide, Pat Rico, Dick Anthony Williams. We got so many amazing people. Even Joe Morton. We have some great, amazing like legends up in this movie. And so I'm about to get into a few of my favorite scenes that I like for the movie. So here we go. So my first favorite scene is when Max, he just got out of jail. He went back to the Sunny studio, and he's busy in the 3rd floor, and he's in the room, he's tap dancing, and you have Sandman like, who is this dude in the room? They didn't even know that it was Max. And so he went and he go get Little Mo, and Little Mo sees him, he's like, oh my gosh, like it's Max, woo! And so it's so funny that Max would be like, what you tell me what to do? You ain't got no legs. He's like, no legs? This sound like a challenge to me. And so they went and got all the guys. They start going in there in the room that Max was in, and then they just started tapping and trying to show Max like, you ain't got no, like, how you gonna talk to us? Like, what do you mean? Just because we old don't mean we can't get down. And they killed it. Every single one of them just shows that no matter what your age is, it doesn't matter. Once you do something once you have a love for something, it doesn't matter how old you are, you're going to still continue to do it. I even like how each one went out. And Harold, did you see how he got down? I'm like, bruh, this dude is like, he got to be in his like 60s, and this dude's still dropping to the split. It's like, you better. And then Sandman, he is so funny, but this dude can break it down still. And Little Mo, aka Sammy Davis, he still got it. And so it's just so cool to see just amazing legends like in Tap come together and have that moment of just sharing the stage and just showing their skills of why they are who they are. And so I absolutely love that scene. My second favorite scene that I love in this movie is when Max, I actually have a bonus, and the bonus one is Savion Glover when he goes out, and technically with Max, he's like in and he's trying to go on a date, and so he tells Luis. So he goes out and he's like in the room and he's like playing basketball and whatnot. And so Master's like, yo, I need you to go and teach the kids because there's a boy right here. He thinks tap is for girls. And I think that's very interesting. I'm going to talk that about in my lesson. But anyway, this is like a bonus that I like. And I like how he goes in and just start tap dancing in front of the girls. And he's just doing him. The boy is so skilled. This is when he was younger. And so he killed it, man. And it got that boy looking like, oh snap. Then next thing you know, he started learning. So I just like how he ended up being that example. But moving on. But that was just a bonus. But my second favorite scene is when he goes to the club. And so Mo has this great idea how he wants to combine well, let me go back. So in this scene, because that's going to go into the other one, but it was the scene where he tells him the idea. But anyway, I really like the scene when he's trying to give them a lesson about, him tapping because he's just known in, the streets of how great he is. And so I really like how he goes outside and how he does the lesson of any sound could be used to create music. And so he goes out in the street, he brings everybody out. The next thing you know, it starts with the what is it called? The little on the street, the water hole, like the top, it starts moving. That's the first sound. The next thing you know, it goes to the honk honk. The next thing you know, what else? It goes to like some bongos. Then the break in the and then he started using those sounds to create tap beats with his feet. And next thing you know, the guy on bongos, the next thing you know, the people who's doing construction, he's using that sound that's breaking up the concrete as a sound. And then they just set up the whole street as a tap dance sequence scene. And so they're all in groups. I like how they start separating, going in groups. So they start dancing on different things like cardboard. The girls, they're dancing on the little tractor hook, like on front of that. And then, then they got the instruments that come out. You got the piano, you got the horns, you got the saxophone, and they just all start coming out and just start tapping. And I like how Max, he goes to each group and he starts doing something with them. And they're just having a great time in the street. I'm like, can I get invited to this thing? Because they were having so much fun. Okay, go ahead and tap and make those numbers. And so I just really like how he was using that as a teaching moment, and of how his dad, because I like how Sandman said he stole some stuff from me, and it's like, oh my God, Sandman. But he was hilarious. He did play that. But I just really, really love that scene of how they were just having a great time tap dancing in the street on different platforms, and it was just a great scene. My last favorite scene is when Max, when he's on stage and he's singing. It's like, you better sing, because that's something I forgot that he can do, is Gregory Hines can sing, and he does create music, and he has songs out, and so he's singing, and then next thing you know, he's tap dancing. But Mo has this idea that he wants to combine rock and tap, and so the guy who's on the sound system, he basically, it's almost like, when you play a piano and it has different buttons that has like a sound like a drum, and then next thing you know, the piano, any note sounds like a drum note. That's how he wanted to do with tap. So when he changed it to, let's just say, bongo, and next thing you know, when Max is tap dancing, his tap sounds like bongos, as if it's making sounds. So I really like that scene, how it's like each time he starts to switch up the sound, and as he switches the sound, every time Max tap, it sounds different. And so I just really like how he was able to combine that, and it was different. First, it started off with rock, and then next thing you know, it was with some electric type sound. Then next thing you know, it was like some bongo type sound, and it was just really dope. And next thing you know, him and the bongo guys going back and forth with his sound and the tap sound, which is really dope, almost like a little challenge. And so I just really love that scene where it just shows that just the diversity of what you can do with tap dancing. And something about Gregory Hines is he's really, really amazing at freestyling. So I just really like the fact that he was able to do that for this movie. And so it was just great, and I just really love that scene. And the boy is bad, period. And even though, God rest his soul, he passed away, but he still is like one of amazing tap dancers out there. And the fact that he was able to share and be around such amazing legends who helped expose that, it's just great that they were all able to come and be in this movie. The lesson that I definitely learned is, I know I mentioned about Luis when he was tapping in front of the girls to show that, you know, boys can tap, because the little boy, he didn't want to, his parents is paying for tap class, and I already know about stuff like that. When you have a kid who's taking a class, they don't want to take a class because their parents is making them. But one thing I do that I am aware of, with the boy, he said he didn't want to take tap because he thought it was for girls. And so when Max asked Luis to go in there and tap to show him that, you know, guys can tap, you can be cool about it, it just really, if I stop and think about it, I remember like when I was teaching class, and well, before class was being taught, like I remember like a parent saying that to their child because the boy looked like he was interested and he wanted to tap, but the father was like, nah, you can't tap because, well, I'm not going to say what he said, but it was very rude. And it was like, you could definitely tell the parent didn't really know much about tap dance, because it's like, if you would have known more about where it came from and the type of people who started, like, you wouldn't be saying that. Basically what he said, he's like, my son is not gay, he's not going to be tapping. He said that to like his wife or girlfriend or whoever it was. And it was like, in my heart, it was like, why would you say that? Because there are so many amazing men who paved the way for tap today, and for you to say that you don't want your son to tap dance because you think it's not man enough is crazy. It just shows how much people just really don't know the history of tap. They really don't understand it, and it takes another role model to show and prove, so that way he can knock it out. And just that scene kind of reminded me of that, because Max wanted him to know that tap is not just for girls, it's for guys too. And just to see how Luis was able to go out and tap and do what he did, it inspired the boy to be like, okay, I want to learn too. It's not for girls, because if he could do it, it's cool and he's impressing girls, maybe I should do the same thing too, you know? Maybe you could get me to get, you know? I mean, that's sometimes how they get into ballet, because it's like, yo, I'm getting some chicks. Or that's how they get into dancing, because it's like, yo, if I could do this and that and I'm getting girls with it, okay, I'll learn to do whatever I got to do so I can be suave and cool. But yeah, but that's the lesson I learned, is just like, it's just very important that even the kids, like, they just need to be like, not a lot of kids know and not a lot of parents know. And so it's just important that just that scene alone, that we just take the time to, if something that our children wants to be involved in, just let them, or learn or do research to know more about it, rather than have your assumption of what you think it is. But that's a lesson I've learned. And also, I just also like how with Max, he had a decision to make in his life of what he was going to do, if he was going to go back to his old life or go back to your new. But sometimes we have to make a decision. Do we want to be better ourselves, or do we want to go back to do what we used to do? And I know that he had a hard rock decision of what he wanted to do, because he just didn't know. But when he finally made a decision, it was the best decision, and ended up changing people's lives. And so he was a leader, he was an example, he was a role model. And sometimes we don't know who's looking, and we always have to keep that in mind. And with Luis, he was looking up to Max, because Max was in his life for a long time. And so the decision he makes, he knows it's going to affect. And I like how he kept the reminder, what his father told him, kept replaying back in his mind, and that's what caused him to make wise choices. So it's just keeping that in mind, just to, you know, just make a wise choice. And even when we want to make a bad choice, that good choice is always going to be running in our head of what to do better. So just putting that out there. There's always that Holy Ghost or somebody's voice that we're inspired by, that's going to be ringing our head to do what's right, and follow that voice.
So I'm going to pause this real quick. The lesson that
the other lesson that I definitely forgot to mention, and that was to be true to who you are no matter what the situation is, because I do remember there is a scene where Max, he ends up going to an audition to for Broadway to audition for the solo part, and he started to do his own thing to bring a little his own style and flavor to the solo, and the director didn't like it, and he was like, you need to do the original, why'd you change it, blah blah blah. And he wanted to bring something different, he wanted to bring some new flavor, and he didn't think that it was good enough. He didn't think that it was, well, not that Max didn't think it was good enough, but he just wanted a change, and thinking that something change could happen, and the director didn't receive it. And so Max had to decide, do he want to be himself, or does he want to be a cookie cutter and be like everybody else? And definitely just to be you, who you are, no matter what. And everyone's not going to accept who you are. Everyone's not going to accept your style. And you could be the greatest dancer or actor or entertainer in the world, but everyone is not going to be okay with you. But as long as you know who you are and you go for it, those doors will open eventually in our favor, and someone out there is going to like who we are and like our uniqueness and our rawness and our transparency, and going to use that for greater and better things. So definitely stick to you and be you, and no matter what. And that's something that I am definitely learning as well within myself. But that's all that I have for today's video. If you liked it, go ahead and hit that like button, and definitely subscribe. I would love for you to be a part of the fam, and hit the bell so that way you'll be instantly notified when I upload a new content. Also, check out my other videos that I have done, such as dance movie reviews, some of my top 10s, 5s, and also my eyeshadow tutorials and my backseat talks and all that other jazz. Definitely check it out on my page. Tell me what was your favorite scene of this movie, and I would love to hear what you have to say. If you haven't seen it, go ahead and check it out. I'll put the somewhere, but go ahead and check it out if you have not yet. And tell me what do you like about tap? If you're a tap dancer, who's your favorite tap person, if male or female? I hope you guys enjoy this whole tap month of the guys, the females, and the good old tap movie. Thank you so much to all of the dancers who were involved in this video. I will of course list them all in my Dancers Hall of Fame. Shout out to the choreographer, who is Henry Latang, and then we also have the assistant choreographers, which is Ruddy L. Gardner, Ruddy L. Garner and Ellie Latang. And then we also have the assistant choreographer for the Taptronica, which is Alfred Decio. The Taptronica assistant choreographer consultant, which is Alfred Decio. And we have the choreographer for the Taptronica, which is Dorothy Westerman. So I will list all of them in my Dancers Hall of Fame, because I appreciate all of your gifts and talents being brought to the big screen. I'm just super grateful, and I'm very grateful for all of the legends who were a part of this movie. Thank you so much for paving the way. Thank you so much for standing up for what you love and doing it, and breaking the mode for us African Americans to be on stage and to entertain people around the world. And I just really appreciate all of you. Thank you guys so much. We love you, and I know that majority of them are not alive today, which is okay, but I still honor them, which is very important. I know Savion Glover, I know he's still alive. And the most recent person, Suzanne Douglas, man, like, rest in heaven. And we just love you guys so much, and just appreciate everything you've done. And I didn't even know she could tap dance until I saw this movie, so that was really dope that she was able to share her gift to the screen and break it down for us. And we just love every single one of you so dearly. We honor you guys for real. So help me honor and giving them some hand claps, you guys. Like, help me honor y'all, because they definitely paved the way for us for real. But everyone else, if they have passed on, I appreciate you guys, and your legend and your legacy still moves on. I cannot wait to see you guys in the next video, y'all, and do not forget to make wise choices. Bye.